Welcome to the Mixing Babies and Business podcast. I'm your host, Amy Lynch. I'm covering all things parenthood, business, flexible, and remote work with kids. Think of it as your virtual village where you can tune into stories from other business and community leaders who also happen to be parents, negotiating for their needs, taking up space, and navigating the future of work. Season 6 is sponsored by the Mixing Babies and Business Changemaker program for people who want to do things differently, create an impact, and advocate for primary caregivers and their families along the way. Sign up to learn more at mixingbabiesandbusiness.com/changemaker. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, like, follow, and leave a review online. It helps other parents find the podcast. Gonçalo Hall is a parent, CEO, and founder of NomadX, co-founder of Gosa Experience, digital nomadism consultant, and community leader. Passionate about making interesting places more accessible for remote workers, Gonçalo spoke with me about launching digital nomad villages, projects with local governments, and the borderless talent movement, alongside his family's relocation to Brazil. In our final episode, we talk about the early days of parenthood and his vision for the future of borderless talent. Let's get into it. One thing I usually like to ask people is there anything that you wish someone would have told you as a parent and a founder before you became a parent and an entrepreneur?
Many people would disagree with me. This is a hot take, I guess. I think most fathers are useless on the first year of life of the kids. I felt useless, and I speak with more fathers and they say, yeah, it's quite hard. I know you can get involved. You should get more involved. And then it connected with entrepreneurship because I kept building. I didn't take any time off. I just kept building and building and building. And it was through kind of a chaotic. Last year was very intense after pandemic, things happening all over in our movement. So I never stopped working. I was in maternity. My wife had a C-section. I was answering emails while she was being operated and my daughter was being born. I closed when the doctor came. Carolina is out and I was like, close the laptop and went to meet my daughter. That's how bad it is. So I think I would love to more parents to understand. And I tried a lot in the beginning. So I tried to be during the night. My wife was going to breastfeed. I was there with her and she, after 1 week, Gonçalo, you're useless. You're just making me sleepier. Can you just go to bed so you focus on work? I take care of the baby. You take care of work. We meet. We are part of everything, but don't try to do it all because you can't. And so for me, it was very, very good that I have my wife telling me this. So I didn't feel the blame of actually not being part of the day-to-day things like diapers and breastfeeding and everything. It's okay, especially for an entrepreneur, if you're building something. You should be present. I'm here working from home. I just stopped this interview. I can play with my daughter. But at the same time, be aware that, especially if you have a business, it's okay to still focus on the business. Like, be there, be supportive, but it's okay to keep focusing on the business. You cannot do it all. It's almost impossible. Unless you can automatize your business, unless you have all these things that you can just remove yourself. I cannot yet. It's okay to focus on your work. It's okay to try to sleep a little bit better. You are useless for at least I was completely useless during the night for breastfeeding. Of course, to put the baby to sleep, I'm there. During the day, I'm there. I'm the one playing with her most of the time. I'm the crazy dad, I guess. But on the other side, it's still Katarina that took over the other side of things, the day-to-day life, the doctor appointments. I go there, I support in everything. But when I stopped blaming myself for not being able to do everything, was then we kind of found our peace during our relationship because both of us were trying everything. This is all new. We are young parents and stuff. And so once she told me, Gonçalo, you focus on the business, I focus on the baby. It's okay. For me, it was a huge relief and I could sleep better. I could work better. I could focus. I could travel still. Like, I never stopped traveling for conferences and everything. So negotiating the terms, especially again, if you are a father and entrepreneur like I am, negotiating the terms of what is to have a baby before you have a baby, making sure that you are present, but also that you have the space to build your business, for me was very important. But just talk about this every day. I think communication for us was the key of this. We'll be both frustrated, maybe not married anymore, if we didn't speak about things that make us comfortable and how to figure out the middle term. So maybe I don't travel to all the conferences that invited me right now. And I just batch all the conferences in 3 weeks instead of traveling every 2 weeks. So when I travel, usually I stay out 2-3 weeks, but I do like 10 conferences in this time span. I travel a lot and I come home and I stay home longer and I'm more present. But again, for me, it was a negotiation and the peace of mind that after talking with my wife, we agreed that this is where we stand, but also we have constant checkpoints to see how are things going, what's our future, how do we want want to do this crazy thing. And we discuss this a lot right now, which is very important for us. And I think for me, it's what keeps our relationship, me as a father, her as a mother, and me as an entrepreneur, all rolling after 1 year, almost and a half of having a baby.
I appreciate your honesty. I breastfed all three of our kids, and our youngest is 2.5 now. And it depends on what people are doing. Like if you're formula feeding, bottle feeding, alternating, all that, it's totally different. But it is good to be realistic and adjust your expectations. And what I heard from you there was similar to the question you just asked me, defining your values, your boundaries, having open communication, negotiating, and adjusting it as you go on. And I have found every 6 to 12 months, you kind of need to reassess, recalibrate what is working, what is not working, and readjust your routines so that you're not like switching context all the time either. You don't have to be Gonçalo, I'm on stage versus the fun dad at home playing or going on the beach, back and forth. So thank you for your honesty with that. The other question I like to ask people is, we're in the future, your daughter's grown up. What kind of a world do you think that you would like her to grow up in? And how is the work that you're doing right now contributing to that, if at all?
I want to live in a global world where people are connected independent of where they came from and whatever they do or they did in the past. That's my vision, I guess. I think we are building this new country that's not a country. It's this global community of people that were born all over the world, but that identify more with this lifestyle, this way of living, that they identify with their country. I'm Portuguese. I don't identify as Portuguese. I identify much more as nomad, remote worker, maybe European at most. Like most, I feel European. I don't feel Portuguese at all. I connect with Europeans. Just came from Brazil. Like for me, it's different flavors of the same ice cream, you know? So I want to be in a world where independent of who you are, what you do, where you came from, you have a place or you have a community that you feel belonging to at the same time as you can enter all these different flavors of this community, Brazil, Portugal, Canada, whatever. I think that's the world I want to live in. I want to build 50 communities of integrated in a society where people can, any remote worker, digital nomad can go and arrive, meet people that are like-minded, families, entrepreneurs, remote workers, and in 1 week meet 100 people that are interesting, find their best 10 friends, create a WhatsApp group with them and mingle with them for the whole stay. That's my dream, I guess. And I think that's a beautiful world to live in, to be able to be in Rio for 2 months and know local people, go to local cultural events, meet local families, your kids speaking a little bit of Portuguese, but then go to Italy and do the same, then go to Bali and do the same, then go to Mexico, Canada and do the same. Like having this decentralized community would be really, really cool. And then maybe find a schooling system for all this, maybe find inside communities for all this, like we are trying to do now. I think that's the world. Hopefully, well, we have 18 years. So we built quite fast. I think we underestimate what we can do in so long, but I think that would be a great world to live in. I think we focus too much in local politics, national politics, where fortunately in this new world, as long as you can make money online, it doesn't really matter. You can vote with your feet. You don't like the US politics, move with your feet, go to Europe. You don't like your Portugal politics, European politics, move with your feet, go to a place you agree with. That's one of the reasons we're moving to Rio. Rio government is one of the most hunger for success I ever seen in the life. So I want to be part of it. So we go to Rio and we are voting with our feet. We don't believe right now in the vision that Portugal government has for Portugal. Cool. We move with our feet and we go to a place we believe in, to people, like-minded people, and we are building this social infrastructure for all of us. I think that's the world I want her to live in, this interconnected world where your passport doesn't matter anymore. It matters the people you connect with, how you connect with the local where you are.
And opportunity changes for everyone then, depending on your access to the internet and resources and your mindset and what you have surrounding yourself. It's definitely an interesting time to be living through. I just saw Thailand open their new visa process as well for remote workers. So I look forward to following your journey whenever you guys are in Rio. How can we connect with your family if we're interested in exploring more of the NomadX lifestyle?
I'm very, very active on LinkedIn. That's my place. It's where I write my thoughts. You can disagree with them. If you disagree, please comment. If you agree, please comment. If you don't know, comment. Because that's the place. It's kind of my town hall. I write everything I'm thinking about, everything I'm building. I write there. So I think that's the place I like people to follow because it's where my brain is right now. And then you can find nomadx.com. We do lots of events. Next will be in Azores. We're building this community in Brazil and elsewhere, wherever we want to go actually. And our family has a page. I think it's a borderless family. I'm not sure if it's something like that, but it's going to be on the show notes, I hope, because my wife is taking care of that and she wants to share more this journey of being a family nomadic. We are not doing a good job so far, but be patient. Our baby is still very young. We promise we'll do better in the future. And maybe if you follow NomadX and LinkedIn, I think next year, maximum 2026, we are building something cool for families, some pop-up to try out different ideas, connecting with you, connecting with other people doing cool stuff to see what would be like to connect 10 families in a beautiful place and see what happens. So yeah, keep an eye on it.
I'll link to that in the show notes, and maybe we'll have a Mixing Babies and Business meetup somewhere around the world.
Yes,
so
I like this. I like it. That's my dream. Babies entrepreneurs.
Thanks again to Gonçalo for speaking with me about his first year of being a parent and an entrepreneur, adapting to digital nomad life with a family, and how it is impacting the ways he does business and builds communities with other collaborators. Check out his work at nomadx.com. Connect with me online at mixingbabiesandbusiness.com. Thanks for listening.